Yeah, sure.
Perfect. So it's currently recording. Perfect. So how are you today, Anu?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really great. Yeah, it's been like busy days, but like I'm really happy.
Yeah, same here. I work a lot on weekends
Mhm.
normally. So my weekends are pretty busy. I stack up with appointments back to back. So
Yeah.
um, that's how it goes on the weekends for me.
Awesome. Awesome. So you said you work in the finance field?
Right.
Awesome. That's great. Like what is are your specifics
So
currently?
I run a financial service brokerage across Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So I have team in other provinces as well. Quebec is pretty new to me.
Awesome.
And I am here in Montreal, just starting off my business.
Great. So are you like the leader of that team or you
Yes.
Awesome. That's really
So
great.
yeah, I have a small team, but just starting off here. I don't have a team here yet, so I'm trying to build my home team here.
Very good, very good. I mean, small doesn't mean anything. Like you can be a small company, but like outperform the big corporations. So
Exactly.
for me, it's nothing. So can you tell us more about you? Like,
um,
who are you as a person? Your hobbies?
so I am from India.
Mm-hmm.
I came to Canada in 2012 as an
Okay.
international student, and pretty much started off like just thinking of just doing a job and
Mm.
finding something. I was trained as a physiotherapist, so all my intention was to just work as a
Oh.
physiotherapist, and I did work in physiotherapy, and then there was some point where uh, most importantly when my first child came, that's
Mm.
when I still did not think about like changing profession or
Yes.
anything, but we ran into a situation where she was facing some health challenges.
Mm.
So that's when I'm like, okay, I have to think differently, maybe look into something else, and that's how I started. But didn't expect it to like make it bigger or anything like that. Just it was just making few $100s. That's all the that's all I thought about in the beginning. And
Mm.
then um, since it is one of the biggest brands in Canada and US together, they gave us a lot of in personal development trainings.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, basically, I went through all of that and became a different person as a whole. And then I started thinking that I can achieve something, and
Yes.
um, that instead of like just looking into, so they they changed my mindset basically. uh, Instead of just like thinking small, I started thinking big,
Mm-hmm.
and thinking big also came with like I want to say uh, I had to also practice. I don't come from a uh, what, and I come from an employee background. I don't
Yes.
have parents in business or anybody in business, so skills are missing. So basically, I'm just like trying to figure out in the beginning everything, and then it was like more of like practicing the scripts in the beginning.
For sure.
There was no naturality to it. Everything I speak to people was like basically a script, and then I slowly built onto it. I learned myself a lot in the process. Um, every day there is something new.
Yes.
So I put time for learning a lot, and sometimes people don't see there how much of like work we put
For
in.
sure.
When and in the beginning the outcome is like so small,
Yeah.
and then eventually it started like compounding. All the
Mm.
effort I put in slowly started building up, and it's and then the team started happening, and team training started happening. Everything just accumulated behind the scenes.
That's good. That's good. Awesome. Like I definitely like kind of relate my background to yours. It's really nice.
What? How did you get into this?
So I'm a bit like you. So I'm actually doing studies in the health field. So I'm a PhD student doing cancer research.
Oh, awesome.
And I mean, life hit me hard in 2018 because I learned that my dad had to lose all his financial savings from the company he used to work in. So it's like a pension.
Wow.
That was the company it like was saving for him and other employees. It's not just targeted, but the company decided to go bankrupt. And for me, it was like a shock to see like how like a person can work so hard and not see the fruits of their labors. So for me, it was like a wake up call to maybe there's other ways to make money and not live in that financial insecurity anymore. And at the same time, I started my PhD. I learned that my awesome PhD advisor, he's really great, but he's bipolar. So I had to go through this study, like in ups and downs, and like you say to yourself, you're fine, but at the end, in your inner self, you're always like, your mood is always fluctuating when that person is 100% here with you or 0% like absent. So, and
That was your professor.
that's my professor. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So like in 2018, I had all those big problems coming uh, at me, and for me, it's like maybe one of the reason I started a PhD. I love to understand more. I wanted to understand more about cancer, but it was like also maybe because I love problem solving. So I was like, how can I solve that financial issue of my dad? This is where I met actually my a friend and partner, Ray. Ray, we have the same age but different path. He stopped college at 21 years old, and he is building for now 9 years his company. It's a tutoring company for CJEP students, and he recently built his community that's called Road to the Million. So it's really taking a small group of people that want to become entrepreneur and really help them make their first business, make their first million. And for me, it was like, this is the answer I wanted to make it happen to my family to finally resolve that financial injustice. And for me, the podcast was like one of the most kind of logical business choices I wanted to take. Like I have my own show where I interview scientists for them to open up to the world, because I feel science is a very small niche and people are disconnected from us.
Right.
And I want to help like other people also have a voice, speak up, and really like I see value in podcasting. If you are another business, you create video content, like it's really time efficient, cost efficient, because you're just like in one sitting you can have like infinite amount of value you can provide to the world.
I was very surprised to hear your dad's story because, when you come, I believe you because there are financial services and businesses out there which people cannot identify. They could go bankrupt, and where is your money secure and all that.
Exactly.
And I especially think about it like I am new to this country, and when you come from a different country, you think everything is, oh, this is Canada. It's a we come from a third world
Yes.
country, and this is like, oh, the modern, and like everything is looking very structured, and then you can't really like believe that there are companies like that. And yes, when I'm working, I could see that what is actually happening out there in the market right now, and also which companies are legit. I teach all of that to my every single client I meet, and they're able to do a better service with me because um, I do structure it differently.
Yes.
I it's an expertise of a personal financial service advisor to navigate them to through the process of not going 100% into one investment and
For
one
sure.
place, and you're putting all your money into one. how to diversify, and that is a problem you guys face, like in your entire family,
Exactly.
having it all in one place,
Yeah.
and having it not in a secure place as well. So yeah, those are some of my expertise, and listening to that, it is like, uh, I'm thinking here, like, I am dreaming for every single person as a client. Like, I basically, when I sit with a client,
Yeah.
in my mind, I have planned their entire future,
Yes.
until their retirement, not just their retirement, even their generational transfer legacy for them, the creation of legacy. And that is where this idea of, like, the Legacy Flex podcast came up. Like, I am building legacy for many people. I'm building for, like, generations to come.
Yes.
So yeah, that is some of my expertise. And yeah, so I'm right now in my head, I'm thinking, like, how big of a service I'm doing. Like, there are people out there who wants these services, and not
Yes.
really getting it.
Makes sense. And I really see the flame in you, and you're really like genuine about it. And I feel like from the story you also shared, it's like really awesome to meet those type of people, because there's different type of people in the world, but you're definitely one of the good ones. Like I feel your energy.
Thank you, thank you.
So Anu, like, what's your ideal podcast about? Like, would you like to talk about finances, like a woman that wants to start their entrepreneurial journey? What do you feel?
So I want to include definitely personal improvement is one of the biggest self mastery, and how. See, when you improve yourself is when the results coming out of you also gets better.
Exactly.
So they can also be part of my team or whatever, but I want them to also succeed in every part, every other areas of their life,
Yes.
and overcome the hurt and the feeling of, like, being emotionally not ready for running your business. Or there's a lot of things we go through our life. If we sit and actually think about our life and be depressed about our life and think about all the stories which happened
Yes.
previously, we will never get anywhere.
Mm.
I was there.
Mm.
I was there, and I was always thinking about the past. I never had thoughts about future. What this company, like, and the business changed myself is to think about the future. And
Mm.
I to be honest, it's very rare I think about my past anymore. Like,
That's great.
there are all those hurtful memories, and all of that is gone from my mind.
Mm.
I think of the future and next move and how I can get better for myself, and not just for myself, the team, the people I am serving. Like, it just not stays in me. It reflects outside and expands to every single person around me. So I'm like, that's what everybody need. That is the message I want to actually give through this podcast.
For sure.
And definitely, like, helping them. It I'm not going to actually talk a lot about finances here, because there's a lot of content out there
Yeah.
related to finance. And if somebody wants to, that is something I do, like, one-on-one basis. I don't want to actually, like, do talk about.
For sure.
And it's very confusing when you talk about that on a podcast. It's very confusing for people. It's
Makes
not
sense.
simple. So I want to basically improve a person to go and make that income happen, or make that business happen, or be in the space they want to be.
Yeah.
So that is the whole idea of it. And also, like, create generational, like, whatever you are, you pass it down to every single
Makes sense.
person, every single generation coming up.
Yeah.
So that is what it is.
Very great, very great, and you definitely manifested energy, and I love it. Do you have like any other questions to me or today or?
um, so whatever I heard from you, that you have, like, a podcast for the scientist.
Yeah.
So which specific do you have, like, which specific area do you invite people from, or it's all general?
It's like basically it's really all general. It's scientists, but like it's really we don't even discuss their expertise or their field of research. We just have a normal human conversation. It's for me to understand their like mission, their past, why they decided to go through this whole academic curriculum. It's not like a really easy one. So why the why basically behind this? So this is my podcast about.
My brother actually is a scientist, so I know it is you need patience. Like
100%. I can maybe invite him as a guest.
he lives in Netherlands, so I don't know if he can.
Yeah, well, I interviewed someone in the UK, so
Oh,
I can
have
like
you?
have like
Okay,
a
so maybe something
virtual.
we can do one day to
Maybe,
your.
yeah, I would love to.
He works at the University of Twente in
Mm.
Netherlands, and his field of study is um, with um, photoacoustic imaging.
Okay.
So pretty much your field, cancer research itself. And he's a little bit deviated these days, a little bit into stroke and other studies as well.
That's good.
But it's all, biomedical and yeah.
Very good. So Anu, do you want to give like a motivational like quote of the day to the camera here? You can speak it out.
I am I'm a person who always believe in manifesting things into your life. And I wasn't like that. I never had any idea of like you can manifest things into your life. But once I started doing it, it became every okay, so your thoughts are things. Anything you think, it will happen. So when I've been going, uh, re, I started just thinking about my life in general. Everything happened in my life. At some point, I have thought about it. So then I'm like, oh my God, it's real. Thoughts are things. So I have to be very watchful what I think. So nowadays, I'm very intentional about like what I think, and if there is a negative thought, I always like reverses it, and that is how my day goes. So being very mindful as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Anu.
Thank you.
It was a great podcast.